Aroostook, Piscataqui, Somerset, Penobscot, Washington, Hancock, Waldo, Knox, Kennebec, Lincoln, Franklin, Oxford, Androscoggin, Sagadahoc, Cumberland, York, Coos, Carroll, Grafton, Belknap, Strafford, Rockingham, Merrimack, Sullivan, Hillsborough, Cheshire, Essex, Orleans, Caledonia, Franklin, Grand Isle, Chittenden, Lamoille, Washington, Orange, Addison, Windsor, Rutland, Bennington, Windham, Essex, Middlesex, Suffolk, Norfolk, Worcester, Franklin, Hampshire, Berkshire, Hampton, Barnstable, Nantucket, Dukes, Plymouth, Bristol, Newport, Bristol, Kent, Providence, Washington, Wyndham, Tolland, Hartford, Lichfield, Fairfield, New Haven, Middlesex, New London, Clinton, Franklin, St. Lawrence, Essex, Hamilton, Herkimer, Lewis, Jefferson, Oswego, Cayuga, Wayne, Monroe, Orleans, Niagara, Genesee, Erie, Wyoming, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, Livingston, Ontario, Seneca, Yates, Steuben, Shulia, Chimsung, Tompkins, Tioga, Cortland, Onondaga, Oneida, Madison, Chenango, Broome, Warren, Washington, Saratoga, Fulton, Montgomery, Schenectady, Schoharie, Otsego, Delaware, Greene, Albany, Rensselaer, Columbia, Dutchess, Ulster, Sullivan, Orange, Rockland, Putnam, Westchester, Bronx, Queens, New York, Kings, Nassau, Suffolk, Richmond, Hudson, Bergen, Passaic, Sussex, Morris, Warren, Essex, Union, Middlesex, Somerset, Hunterdon, Mercer, Monmouth, Ocean, Burlington, Atlantic, Camden, Gloucester, Salem, Cumberland, Cape May, Pike, Wayne, Monroe, Northampton, Bucks, Montgomery, Philadelphia, Delaware, Chester, Berks, Lehigh, Carbon, Luzerne, Lackawanna, Susquehanna, Wyoming, Bradford, Sullivan, Columbia, Schuylkill, Lebanon, Lancaster, York, Dauphin, Northumberland, Montour, Lycoming, Tioga, Potter, Clinton, Union, Snyder, Juniata, Perry, Cumberland, Adams, Franklin, Huntingdon, Mifflin, Center, Clearfield, Cameron, McKean, Elk, Warren, Erie, Crawford, Venango, Forest, Clarion, Butler, Mercer, Lawrence, Beaver, Allegheny, Washington, Greene, Fayette, Westmoreland, Armstrong, Jefferson, Indiana, Cambria, Blair, Somerset, Bedford, Fulton, Newcastle, Kent, Sussex, Worcester, Wicomico, Somerset, Dorchester, Talbot, Caroline, Queen Anne's, Kent, Cecil, Hartford, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, Anne Arundel, Calvert, St. Mary's, Charles, Prince George's, Washington, D.C., Montgomery, Howard, Carroll, Frederick, Washington, Allegheny, Garrett, Hancock, Brooke, Ohio, Marshall, Wetzel, Tyler, Pleasance, Wood, Jackson, Mason, Cabell, Wayne, Mingo, McDowell, Mercer, Wyoming, Logan, Lincoln, Putnam, Canafa, Boone, Raleigh, Fayette, Summers, Monroe, Greenbrier, Nicholas, Clay, Rowan, Wirt, Ritchie, Calhoun, Gilmer, Braxton, Webster, Pocahontas, Randolph, Upshur, Lewis, Doddridge, Harrison, Marion, Monongalia, Preston, Taylor, Barbour, Tucker, Pendleton, Grant, Hardy, Mineral, Hampshire, Morgan, Berkeley, Jefferson, Accomack, Northampton, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Isle of Wight, Surrey, James City, York, Newport News, Hampton, Pocawson, Gloucester, Matthews, Middlesex, Lancaster, Northumberland, Westmoreland, Richmond Co., Essex, King and Queen, King William, New Kent, Charles City, Prince George, Sussex, Southampton, Franklin, Greensville, Emporia, Dinwindle, Brunswick, Lunenburg, Mecklenburg, Halifax, Pennsylvania, Danville, Henry, Martinsville, Patrick, Carroll, Galax, Grayson, Symph, Washington, Bristol, Scott, Lee, Wise, Norton, Dickinson, Buchanan, Russell, Tazewell, Bland, Wive, Gills, Pulaski, Montgomery, Radford, Floyd, Franklin Co., Roanoke Co., Roanoke, Salem, Craig, Allegheny, Covington, Botator, Bedford Co., Campbell, Lynchburg, Amherst, Rockbridge, Buena Vista, Lexington, Bath, Highland, Augusta, Staunton, Waynesboro, Rockingham, Harrisburg, Shenandoah, Frederick, Winster, Clark, Loudoun, Fairfax Co., Fairfax, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, Manassas Park, Manassas, Prince William, Fauquier, Warren, Rappahannock, Page, Culpeper, Madison, Greene, Albemarle, Charlottesville, Nelson, Buckingham, Appomattox, Charlotte, Prince Edward, Nottoway, Amelia, Cumberland, Powhatan, Chesterfield, Petersburg, Colonial Heights, Hopewell, Richmond, Henrico, Goochland, Fulvana, Louisa, Hanover, Caroline, Spotsylvania, Orange, Fredericksburg, Stafford, King George. Ashtabula, Trumbull, Mahoning, Columbiana, Jefferson, Belmont, Monroe, Washington, Athens, Meigs, Gallia, Lawrence, Scioto, Adams, Brown, Claremont, Hamilton, Butler, Warren, Clinton, Highland, Pike, Jackson, Vinton, Ross, Fayette, Greene, Montgomery, Preble, Dark, Miami, Clark, Madison, Pickaway, Hocking, Fairfield, Perry, Morgan, Noble, Guernsey, Tuscarawas, Harrison, Carroll, Stark, Portage, Gyorka, Lake, Cuyahoga, Summit, Medina, Lorraine, Huron, Erie, Sandusky, Ottawa, Lucas, Fulton, Williams, Defiance, Henry, Wood, Balding, Van Wert, Mercer, Putnam, Allen, Oglaze, Shelby, Champaign, Union, Logan, Hardin, Hancock, Seneca, Wyandotte, Crawford, Richland, Ashland, Wayne, Holmes, Cossocton, Muskingum, Licking, Franklin, Delaware, Knox, Morrow, Marion, Monroe, Lenawee, Hillsdale, Branch, St. Joseph, Cass, Berrien, Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Jackson, Washtenaw, Wayne, Macomb, Sinclair, Senilac, Huron, Tuscola, Lapeer, Genesee, Oakland, Livingston, Ingham, Eaton, Barry, Allegan, Ottawa, Kent, Ionia, Clinton, Shiawassee, Saginaw, Gatoit, Montcalm, Newaygo, Muskegon, Oceana, Mason, Lake, Osceola, Mecosta, Isabella, Clare, Gladwin, Midland, Bay, Aranac, Iosco, Alcona, Alpena, Montmorency, Oscoda, Ogamore, Roscommon, Milwaukee, Wexford, Manistee, Benzie, Leelanau, Grand Traverse, Kalkaska, Crawford, Ostego, Antrim, Charlevoix, Emmett, Chimboygan, Presque Isle, Mackinac, Chippewa, Luce, Alga, Schoolcraft, Delta, Menominee, Marquette, Dickinson, Iron, Baraga, Houghton, Kinawa, Otonagan, Gobiet. Douglas, Bayfield, Ashland, Iron, Villas, Forest, Florence, Marinette, Oconto, Dorr, Kewanee, Brown, Manitowoc, Sheboygan, Ozwaki, Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Walworth, Rock, Greene, Lafayette, Grant, Iowa, Dane, Jefferson, Waukesha, Washington, Dodge, Columbia, Sauk, Richland, Crawford, Vernon, La Crosse, Monroe, Juneau, Adams, Waushara, Marquette, Green Lake, Fond du Lac, Winnebago, Calumet, Outagamie, Waukapa, Portage, Wood, Jackson, Trimpaloo, Buffalo, Pippin, Pierce, St. Croix, Dunn, Chippewa, Eau Claire, Clark, Taylor, Marathon, Shawano, Menominee, Langlade, Oneida, Lincoln, Price, Sawyer, Rusk, Washburn, Burnett, Polk, Barron. Lake, Porter, LaPorte, St. Joseph, Elkhart, Lagrange, Steuben, DeKalb, Noble, Kosciuszko, Marshall, Stark, Jasper, Newton, Pulaski, Fulton, Miami, Wabash, Whitley, Allen, Huntington, Wells, Adams, Jay, Blackford, Grant, Howard, Cass, Carroll, White, Benton, Warren, Tippecanoe, Clinton, Tipton, Madison, Delaware, Randolph, Wayne, Henry, Hancock, Hamilton, Boone, Montgomery, Fountain, Vermilion, Park, Putnam, Hendricks, Marion, Shelby, Rush, Fayette, Union, Franklin, Decatur, Bartholomew, Johnson, Morgan, Owen, Clay, Vigo, Sullivan, Green, Monroe, Brown, Posey, Gibson, Vanderburg, Warwick, Pike, Dubois, Spencer, Perry, Crawford, Orange, Lawrence, Martin, Davies, Knox, Harrison, Floyd, Clark, Washington, Jackson, Scott, Jennings, Ripley, Dearborn, Ohio, Switzerland, Jefferson. Boone, Kenton, Campbell, Pendleton, Bracken, Mason, Lewis, Greenup, Lawrence, Boyd, Martin, Pike, Letcher, Harlan, Bell, Knox, Whitley, McCreary, Wayne, Clinton, Cumberland, Monroe, Allen, Simpson, Logan, Todd, Christian, Trigg, Lyon, Marshall, Callaway, Graves, McCracken, Ballard, Carlisle, Hickman, Fulton, Livingston, Crittenden, Union, Henderson, Webster, Caldwell, Hopkins, McLean, Davies, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Hancock, Breckinridge, Grayson, Butler, Warren, Edmondson, Barron, Metcalf, Hart, Hardin, Meade, Bullitt, Jefferson, Oldham, Trimble, Carroll, Gallatin, Grant, Owen, Henry, Shelby, Spencer, Nelson, LaRue, Green, Taylor, Adair, Russell, Pulaski, Laurel, Clay, Leslie, Perry, Knott, Floyd, Johnson, Morgan, Elliott, Carter, Rowan, Fleming, Robertson, Harrison, Scott, Franklin, Anderson, Washington, Marion, Casey, Lincoln, Rockcastle, Jackson, Owsley, Briffett, Magaffin, Wolfe, Menifee, Bath. Tazewell, McLean, Champaign, Vermilion, Edgar, Douglas, Coles, Clark, Cumberland, Jasper, Crawford, Lawrence, Richland, Wabash, Edwards, White, Gallatin, Hardin, Pope, Massac, Johnson, Pulaski, Alexander, Union, Jackson, Williamson, Saline, Hamilton, Franklin, Perry, Randolph, Monroe, Sinclair, Washington, Jefferson, Wayne, Clay, Marion, Clinton, Madison, Bond, Fayette, Effingham, Shelby, Moultrie, Piatt, DeWitt, Macon, Logan, Mason, Cass, Schuyler, Adams, Brown, Pike, Calhoun, Jersey, Green, Scott, Morgan, Sangamon, Menard, Christian, Montgomery, Macoupin. Currituck, Dare, Hyde, Carteret, Onslow, Pender, New Hanover, Brunswick, Columbus, Bladen, Sampson, Duplin, Jones, Craven, Pamlico, Beaufort, Washington, Tyrrell, Bertie, Chowan, Perkimans, Pacontuck, Camden, Gates, Hertford, Martin, Pitt, Lenore, Green, Wayne, Northampton, Halifax, Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson, Johnson, Harnett, Cumberland, Rosen, Hoke, Scotland, Richmond, Moore, Lee, Chatham, Wake, Franklin, Warren, Vance, Granville, Durham, Orange, Person, Caswell, Alamance, Randolph, Montgomery, Stanley, Anson, Union, Mecklenburg, Carabas, Rowan, Davidson, Guilford, Rockingham, Stokes, Forsyth, Davy, Iredell, Catawba, Lincoln, Gaston, Cleveland, Rutherford, Polk, Henderson, Transylvania, Jackson, Macon, Clay, Cherokee, Graham, Swain, Hayward, Madison, Buncombe, Yancey, Mitchell, McDowell, Burke, Caldwell, Avery, Watauga, Agilahany, Surrey, Yadkin, Wilkes, Alexander. Johnson, Sullivan, Carter, Washington, Unicoi, Green, Hawkins, Hancock, Granger, Hamblin, Koch, Jefferson, Sevier, Blount, Monroe, Polk, McMinn, Bradley, Loudon, Knox, Union, Cairborne, Campbell, Anderson, Rowan, Rhea, Meigs, Hamilton, Marion, Sequatchie, Bledsoe, Cumberland, Morgan, Scott, Ventris, Pickett, Overton, Putnam, White, Van Buren, Warren, Grundy, Coffey, Franklin, Lincoln, Franklin, Bedford, Rutherford, Cannon, DeKalb, Smith, Jackson, Clay, Macon, Trousdale, Sumner, Wilson, Davidson, Robertson, Montgomery, Stewart, Houston, Dixon, Cheatham, Williamson, Marshall, Maury, Giles, Lawrence, Hardin, Wayne, McNary, Hardeman, Fayette, Shelby, Tipton, Lauderdale, Dyer, Obion, Lake, Crockett, Hayward, Madison, Chester, Henderson, Decatur, Perry, Lewis, Hickman, Humphreys, Benton, Henry, Weekly, Gibson, Carroll. Orkney, Pickens, Greenville, Spartanburg, Cherokee, York, Union, Lawrence, Anderson, Abbeville, Greenwood, McCormick, Edgefield, Saluda, Newbury, Fairfield, Chester, Lancaster, Chesterfield, Marlborough, Dilian, Marion, Horry, Georgetown, Charlestown, Colville, Beaufort, Jasper, Hampton, Allendale, Bamberg, Barnwell, Aiken, Lexington, Richland, Kershaw, Lee, Darlington, Florence, Williamsburg, Berkeley, Dorster, Orangeburg, Calhoun, Sumter, Clarendon. Dade, Walker, Cartussa, Whitfield, Murray, Gilmer, Fannin, Union, Towns, Ralburn, Hamersham, Stevens, White, Lumpkin, Dawson, Pickens, Gordon, Chattooga, Floyd, Bartow, Cherokee, Forsyth, Hall, Jackson, Banks, Franklin, Hart, Madison, Egbert, Lincoln, Wilkes, Oglethorpe, Clark, Oconee, Barrow, Gwinnett, Fulton, Cobb, Portling, Polk, Harrelson, Carroll, Douglas, Coweta, Hurd, Troop, Meriwether, Pike, Spalding, Fayette, Clayton, DeKalb, Henry, Newton, Rockdale, Walton, Morgan, Greene, Taliaferro, Warren, McDuffie, Columbia, Richmond, Jefferson, Glascock, Hancock, Putnam, Jasper, Butts, Monroe, Lamar, Upson, Talbot, Harris, Muskogee, Chattahoochee, Stewart, Quitman, Randolph, Clay, Early, Calhoun, Baker, Miller, Seminole, Dakota, Grady, Mitchell, Colquitt, Daugherty, Lee, Terrell, Sumter, Webster, Marion, Schley, Macon, Taylor, Crawford, Peach, Bibb, Jones, Baldwin, Washington, Wilkinson, Twiggs, Houston, Dooley, Crisp, Worth, Thomas, Brooks, Lowndes, Cook, Berrien, Tift, Irwin, Ben, Hill, Turner, Wilcox, Dodge, Pulaski, Beckley, Lawrence, Johnson, Emmanuel, Burke, Jenkins, Screven, Effingham, Chatham, Bryan, Bullock, Candler, Evans, Tatnall, Toombs, Montgomery, Troudlin, Wheeler, Telfair, Jeff Davis, Coffey, Atkinson, Clinch, Lanier, Isholes, Charlton, Ware, Brantley, Pierce, Bacon, Appling, Wayne, Long, Liberty, McIntosh, Glynn, Camden. Escambria, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, Walton, Holmes, Washington, Bay, Jackson, Calhoun, Gulf, Franklin, Liberty, Gadsden, Leon, Waukulla, Jefferson, Madison, Taylor, Lafayette, Sewanee, Hamilton, Columbia, Franklin, Baker, Duval, Nassau, Union, Bradford, Alucha, Gilchrist, Dixie, Levi, Marion, Putnam, Clay, St. John's, Flagler, Volusia, Seminole, Lake, Orange, Sumter, Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, Osceola, Brevard, Indian River, Okeechobee, St. Lucie, Highlands, Hardy, Manette, Sarasota, DeSoto, Charlotte, Lee, Glades, Hendry, Palm Beach, Martin, Collier, Broward, Miami-Dade, Monroe. Lauderdale, Limestone, Madison, Jackal, DeKalb, Marshall, Morgan, Lawrence, Colbert, Franklin, Marion, Winston, Coleman, Blount, Etowah, Cherokee, Cleburne, Calhoun, St. Clair, Jefferson, Walker, Fayette, Lamar, Pickens, Tuscaloosa, Bibb, Shelby, Talladega, Clay, Randolph, Chambers, Tallapoosa, Coosa, Chilton, Perry, Hale, Greene, Sumter, Marigo, Choctaw, Clark, Washington, Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, Monroe, Conecuh, Covington, Coffee, Geneva, Houston, Dale, Henry, Barbour, Russell, Lee, Macon, Bullock, Pike, Crenshaw, Butler, Wilcox, Dallas, Lowndes, Autauga, Elmore, Montgomery. DeSoto, Marshall, Benton, Tipper, Alcorn, Tishomingo, Prentice, Union, Lee, Itswamba, Pontotoc, Lafayette, Panola, Tate, Tunica, Quitman, Coahoma, Boulevard, Sunflower, Tallahatchie, Yallabusha, Calhoun, Chickasaw, Monroe, Lowndes, Clay, Webster, Grenada, Carroll, Layfor, Montgomery, Choctaw, Obtonebeha, Noxubee, Winston, Altala, Holmes, Humphreys, Washington, Sharkey, Issaquena, Yazoo, Warren, Hines, Madison, Leake, Neshoba, Kemper, Lauderdale, Newton, Scott, Rankin, Smith, Jasper, Clark, Simpson, Copier, Claiborne, Jefferson, Adams, Franklin, Wilkinson, Amite, Lincoln, Pike, Lawrence, Wiltall, Marion, Jefferson Davis, Covington, Jones, Wayne, Green, Perry, Forrest, Lamar, Pearl River, Hancock, Stone, George, Jackson, Harrison. Caddo, Bossier, Webster, Claiborne, Union, Morehouse, West Carroll, East Carroll, Madison, Richland, Ouachita, Lincoln, Bienville, Jackson, Red River, DeSoto, Natchitoches, Sabine, Wynne, Caldwell, Franklin, Tensas, Catahoula, LaSalle, Grant, Concordia, Avoyelles, Rapides, Vernon, Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, Acadia, Jefferson Davis, Calcasieu, Cameron, Vermilion, Lafayette, St. Laundry, Pointe Coupé, West Feliciana, East Feliciana, St. Helena, Tagapahona, Washington, St. Tammany, Livingston, East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, Iberville, St. Martin, Iberia, St. Mary, Terrebonne, La Fourche, Jefferson, Balcamins, St. Bernard, Orleans, St. Charles, St. John the Baptist, St. James, Ascension, Assumption. Benton, Carroll, Boone, Marion, Baxter, Fulton, Sharp, Randolph, Clay, Green, Lawrence, Izard, Washington, Madison, Newton, Searcy, Stone, Independence, Jackson, Craighead, Mississippi, Poncet, Woodruff, Cross, Crittenden, St. Francis, Lee, Phillips, Desha, Chicot, Ashley, Drew, Bradley, Union, Columbia, Lafayette, Miller, Little River, Hempstead, Nevada, Ouachita, Calhoun, Dallas, Cleveland, Lincoln, Arkansas, Monroe, Clark, Pike, Howard, Sevier, Polk, Montgomery, Garland, Hot Spring, Grant, Jefferson, Saline, Pulaski, Lonoke, Prairie, White, Cleburne, Van Buren, Faulkner, Conway, Perry, Yell, Pope, Johnson, Franklin, Crawford, Sebastian, Logan, Scott. Atchison, Holt, Nodaway, Andrew, Buchanan, Palette, Clay, Clinton, DeKalb, Gentry, Worth, Harrison, Mercer, Putnam, Schulia, Scotland, Clark, Lewis, Knox, Adair, Sullivan, Grundy, Davies, Caldwell, Livingston, Lynn, Macon, Shelby, Marion, Rawls, Monroe, Pike, Aldrain, Randolph, Chariton, Carroll, Ray, Jackson, Cass, Bates, Vernon, Barton, Jasper, Newton, MacDonald, Barry, Lawrence, Dade, Cheddar, St. Clair, Henry, Johnson, Lafayette, Saline, Pettus, Benton, Hickory, Polk, Green, Christian, Stone, Taney, Ozark, Douglas, Webster, Dallas, Camden, Laclede, Wright, Morgan, Cooper, Howard, Boone, Montu, Cole, Miller, Pulaski, Texas, Howell, Oregon, Ripley, Butler, Drunken, Pemiscot, New Madrid, Mississippi, Scott, Stoddard, Wayne, Carter, Shannon, Reynolds, Iron, Madison, Bollinger, Cape Girardeau, Perry, Saint Genevieve, St. Francois, Washington, Crawford, Dent, Phelps, Maurice, Osage, Callaway, Montgomery, Lincoln, St. Charles, St. Louis, Co, Jefferson, Franklin, Warren, Gasconade. Lyon, Sioux, Plymouth, Woodbury, Winona, Harrison, Pottawatomie, Mills, Fremont, Page, Montgomery, Adams, Taylor, Ringgold, Union, Clark, Decatur, Wayne, Lucas, Monroe, Appanoose, Davis, Wapello, Jefferson, Van Buren, Lee, Henry, Des Moines, Louisa, Washington, Keokuk, Mahaska, Marion, Warren, Madison, Adair, Cass, Shelby, Audubon, Guthrie, Dallas, Polk, Jasper, Poweshiek, Iowa, Johnson, Muscatine, Scott, Cheddar, Clinton, Jackson, Jones, Lynn, Benton, Tama, Marshall, Story, Boone, Green, Carroll, Crawford, Ida, Sack, Calhoun, Webster, Hamilton, Hardin, Grundy, Blackhawk, Buchanan, Delaware, Dubuque, Clayton, Alamaki, Winniseck, Fate, Chissacaw, Howard, Bremer, Butler, Floyd, Mitchell, Worth, Cerro Gordo, Franklin, Wright, Hancock, Winnebago, Kossuth, Humboldt, Pocahontas, Palo Alto, Emmett, Dickinson, Clay, Buena Vista, Cherokee, O'Brien, Osceola. La Capelle, Yellow Medicine, Leon, Lincoln, Pipestone, Murray, Nobles, Rock, Redwood, Brown, Watonwan, Cottonwood, Jackson, Martin, Blue Earth, Faribault, Freeborn, Waseca, Steele, Dodge, Olmsted, Winona, Houston, Fillmore, Moa, Wabasha, Goodhue, Dakota, Rice, LeSueur, Nicollet, Sibley, Renville, Chippewa, Kandiyoshi, Mekir, Wright, McLeod, Carver, Hennepin, Scott, Dakota, Washington, Ramsey, Anoka, Chissacaw, Asante, Sherburne, Benton, Stearns, Pope, Swift, Stevens, Bigstone, Traverse, Grant, Douglas, Todd, Morrison, Milax, Kennebec, Pine, Cook, Lake, St. Louis, Carlton, Anting, Itasca, Kuchingching, Lake of the Woods, Rousseau, Kitson, Marshall, Beltrami, Pennington, Red Lake, Polk, Clearwater, Manonim, Norman, Clay, Becker, Ottertail, Wilkerman, Hubbard, Cass, Crow-Wing, Wadena. Pembina, Cavalier, Towner, Rolette, Bottineau, Renville, Ward, Burke, Divide, Williams, Mount Trail, Mackenzie, Dunn, Billings, Golden Valley, Stark, Hettinger, Slope, Bowman, Adams, Sioux, Grant, Morton, Oliver, Mercer, McLean, McHenry, Pierce, Benson, Ramsey, Walsh, Grand Forks, Nelson, Eddy, Wells, Sheridan, Burley, Emmons, McIntosh, Logan, Kidder, Stutzman, Foster, Griggs, Steele, Trail, Cass, Barnes, Richland, Ransom, Sargent, Dixie, Lamorde. Harding, Perkins, Boot, Meade, Lawrence, Pennington, Custer, Fall River, Oglala-Lakota, Bennett, Todd, Mellette, Jackson, Jones, Hakon, Stanley, Dewey, Zybeck, Zorson, Zamwell, Waldorf, Edmonds, McPherson, Brown, Marshall, Roberts, Day, Grant, Codington, Dewell, Hamlin, Clark, Spink, Falk, Potter, Sully, Hyde, Hand, Hughes, Buffalo, Libman, Tripp, Gregory, Charles, Bonhomme, Yankton, Clay, Union, Lincoln, Turner, Hutchinson, Douglas, Aurora, Brule, Gerald, Beadle, Kingsbury, Brookings, Moody, Minnehaha, Lake, McCook, Minor, Hanson, Sanborn, Davidson, Sioux, Scottsbluff, Banner, Kimball, Cheyenne, Morrill, Buxput, Dawes, Sheridan, Garden, Dewell, Cherry, Grant, Arthur, Keefe, Perkins, Chase, Dundee, Hitchcock, Hayes, Lincoln, McPherson, Hooker, Thomas, Logan, Keapaha, Brown, Rock, Loop, Blaine, Custer, Dawson, Gopher, Frontier, Red Willow, Furnace, Harlan, Phelps, Franklin, Kearney, Buffalo, Hall, Adams, Webster, Nichols, Clay, Fillmore, Thayer, Hamilton, York, Polk, Butler, Seward, Saline, Jefferson, Gage, Pawnee, Richmond, Nemaha, Johnson, Otto, Cass, Lancaster, Saunders, Sarpy, Douglas, Washington, Blurt, Fersen, Dakota, Dixon, Cedar, Wayne, Cumming, Dodge, Colfax, Stanton, Pate, Nance, Merrick, Howard, Sherman, Valley, Greenlee, Boone, Madison, Pierce, Knox, Antelope, Holt, Boyd, Wheeler, Garfield. Cheyenne, Sherman, Wallace, Greenlee, Hamilton, Stanton, Morton, Stevens, Grant, Kearney, Wichita, Logan, Thomas, Rawlins, Decatur, Sheridan, Gove, Lane, Scott, Finley, Haskell, Seward, Meade, Gray, Clark, Ford, Hodgman, Ness, Trigo, Graham, Norton, Phillips, Rooks, Ellis, Rush, Pawnee, Edwards, Kiowa, Comanche, Barber, Pratt, Strafford, Barton, Russell, Osborne, Smith, Jewell, Mitchell, Lincoln, Ellsworth, Rice, Reno, Kingman, Harper, Sumner, Sedgwick, Harvey, McPherson, Saline, Ottawa, Cloud, Republic, Washington, Marshall, Nemaha, Brown, Dauphinan, Atkinson, Jackson, Potawatomi, Raleigh, Clay, Dickinson, Geary, Morris, Chase, Marion, Butler, Cowley, Chautauqua, Elk, Greenwood, Leon, Wabanasi, Shawi, Jefferson, Leavenworth, Johnson, Wyandotte, Douglas, Osage, Coffee, Franklin, Miami, Lynn, Anderson, Woodson, Allen, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Labette, Neosho, Wilson, Montgomery. Cimarron, Texas, Beaver, Harper, Ellis, Roger Mills, Beckham, Greer, Harmon, Jackson, Tillman, Kiowa, Washita, Custer, Dewey, Woodworth, Wools, Alfalfa, Major, Garfield, Grant, Kay, Noble, Pawnee, Osage, Washington, Nowata, Craig, Ottawa. Pittsburgh, Atoka, Bryan, Marshall, Johnson, Cole, Hughes, Osfuki, Creek, Payne, Lincoln, Logan, Kingfisher, Blaine, Canadian, Caddo, Comanche, Cotton, Stevens, Jefferson, Carter, Love, Murray, Pontonoc, Seminole, Potawatomi, Oklahoma, Cleveland, McLean, Garvin, Grady. Bowie, Cass, Marion, Harrison, Panola, Shelby, St. Augustine, Sabine, Newton, Jasper, Orange, Jefferson, Hardin, Tyler, Angelina, Nacogdoches, Rusk, Gregg, Upshur, Camp, Morris, Titus, Red River, Franklin, Wood, Smith, Cherokee, Houston, Trinity, Polk, San Giattino, Liberty, Chambers, Galveston, Braziora, Margarita, Calhoun, Refugio, Arkansas, San Patricio, Nueces, Kelberg, Kennedy, Willacy, Cameron, Hidalgo, Starr, Zapata, Jim Hogg, Duval, Jim Wells, Brooks, McMullen, Live Oak, Carnes, Gonzalez, Bastrop, Fayette, Lee, Milliam, Burston, Robertson, Leone, Madison, Brazos, Washington, Austin, Colorado, Lavaca, Jackson, Victoria, DeWitt, Goliad, B, Wharton, Fort Bend, Harris, Waller, Montgomery, Walker, Grimes, Lamar, Delta, Hopkins, Rains, Van Zant, Henderson, Anderson, Kaufman, Hunt, Vanin, Grayson, Collins, Rockwall, Dallas, Denton, Cook, Montague, Clay, Wichita, Wilbarger, Harbordman, Dallum, Sherman, Hansford, Altletree, Linscombe, Hemphill, Roberts, Hutchinson, Moore, Hartley, Oldham, Potter, Carlton, Gray, Wheeler, Collingsworth, Donnelly, Armstrong, Randall, Deaf-Smith, Palmer, Castro, Swisher, Briscoe, Hall, Childress, Cottle, Ford, Motley, Floyd, Hale, Lamb, Bailey, Cochrane, Hockley, Lubbock, Crosby, Dickens, King, Knox, Baylor, Archer, Yoakum, Terry, Lynn, Gaza, Kent, Stonewall, Haskell, Throckmorton, Young, Jack, Wise, Gaines, Andrew, Winkler, Loving, Reeves, Culberson, Hudspeth, Jeff Davis, Prestio, Brewster, Picos, Terrell, Ward, Ector, Crane, Upton, Midland, Martin, Dawson, Borden, Howard, Glasscock, Reagan, Crockett, Valverde, Kinney, Maverick, Dimmitt, Webb, LaSalle, Atasoka, Frio, Medina, Uvalde, Zavala, Bexar, Wilson, Guadalupe, Kamal, Hayes, Caldwell, Bastrop, Williamson, Travis, Bianco, Giuseppe, Kerr, Kendall, Bandera, Reel, Edwards, Sutton, Kimball, Schleider, Menard, Mason, Llano, Burnett, Sansaba, McCulloch, Concho, Tom Green, Irian, Sterling, Mitchell, Scurry, Fisher, Nolan, Coke, Runnels, Taylor, Jones, Shackelford, Callahan, Coleman, Brown, Eastland, Stevens, Paltrino, Parker, Tarrant, Johnson, Hood, Iraf, Somerville, Comanche, Mills, Hamilton, Lampasas, Coriel, Bell, Falls, McLennan, Bosque, Hill, Ellis, Navarro, Freestone, Limestone. El Paso. Hidalgo, Grant, Luna, Donna Ana, Sierra, Ontero, Eddy, Leah, Chaves, Roosevelt, Tabaka, Curry, Key, Union, Colfax, Taos, Riabria, San Juan, Sandoval, McKinley, Joba, Los Alamos, San Fe, Bermillo, Valencia, Socorro, Catron, Lincoln, Torrance, Guadalupe, San Miguel, Mora, Harding. Sedgwick, Phillips, Yuma, Kit Carson, Cheyenne, Kiowa, Prowers, Baca, Bent, Lizamas, Montero, Crowley, Lincoln, Washington, Logan, Weld, Morgan, Adams, Denver, Arapaho, Albert, Douglas, El Paso, Pueblo, Huerfano, Costilla, Conejos, and La Chuleta, La Plata, Montezuma, Dolores, San Miguel, Ouray, San Juan, Hinsdale, Mineral, Rio Grande, Almosa, Seguache, Custer, Fremont, Teller, Jefferson, Boulder, Broomfield, Larimer, Jackson, Root, Moffat, Rob Bianco, Garfield, Mesa, Delta, Montrose, Gunnison, Chaffee, Park, Clear Creek, Giplin, Grand Crow, Summit, Eagle, Lake, Biltkin. Park, Teton, Sublette, Fremont, Lincoln, Uinta, Sweetwater, Carbon, Natrona, Hot Springs, Watashki, Bighorn, Sheridan, Johnson, Campbell, Crook, Weston, Converse, Albany, Laramie, Plate, Goshen, Niobrara. Carter, Walloon. Custer, Prairie, Wilbur, Dawson, Richland, Roosevelt, Sheridan, Daniels, Valley, Macomb, Garfield, Rosebud, Prowler River, Bighorn, Treasure, Yellowstone, Carbon, Musselshell, Petroleum, Phillips. Lincoln, Sanders, Mineral, Missoula, Ravalli, Beaverhead, Madison, Silverbow, Deer Lodge, Granite, Lake, Flathead, Glacier, Toole, Liberty, Hill, Blaine, Pondera, Teton, Lewis and Clark, Powell, Jefferson, Broadwater, Gallatin, Park, Sweetgrass, Stillwater, Golden Valley, Wheatland, Meager, Cascade, Chantou, Judith Basin, Fergus. Boundary, Bonner, Kuntai, Shoshone, Benweda, Latar, Clearwater, Nez Lewis, Idaho, Adams, Washington, Pate, Gem, Canyon, Ada, Owyhee, Elmore, Boise, Valley, Lemhi, Custer, Blaine, Camas, Gooding, Lincoln, Jerome, Twin Falls, Minidoka, Cassia, Oneida, Franklin, Bear Lake, Caribou, Bannock, Power, Bingham, Bonneville, Teton, Fremont, Clark, Madison, Jefferson, Butte. Box Elder, Cash, Rich, Weber, Morgan, Davis, Twill, Quanbarb, Millard, Beaver, Iron, Washington, Kane, San Juan, Garfield, Wayne, Piute, Sevier, St. Pete, Emory, Carbon, Grand, Unitar, Daggett, Summit, Dustin, Watt, Utah, Salt Lake, Mojave, Yavapai, Conocho, La Paz, Yuma, Maricopa, Pinal, Pima, Santa Cruz, Cochise, Graham, Greenlee, Apache, Navajo, Gila, Osho, Humboldt, Pershing, Elko, Eureka, White Pine, Lander, Churchill, Leon, Story, Carson City, Douglas, Mineral, Nye, Esmeralda, Clark, Lincoln. Imperial, San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino, Orange, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, Kern, Tulare, Inyo, Fresno, Kings, Monterey, San Bernardino, Santa Cruz, Santa Clara, Merced, Madera, Mariposa, Mono, Alpine, Tuolumne, Calveras, Stanislaus, San Joaquin, Alameda, San Mateo, San Francisco, Marin, Costa Costa, Sacramento, Solano, Saloma, Napa, Yolo, Sutter, Placer, El Dorado, Amador, Nevada, Yuba, Sierra, Plumas, La Cine, Butte, Glen, Colusa, Lake, Mendocino, Tehama, Shasta, Trinity, Humboldt, Denort, Siskiyou, Modoc. Clatsop, Tillamook, Lincoln, Lane, Douglas, Coos, Curry, Josephine, Jackson, Calmath, Lake, Harney, Malheur, Grant, Baker, Wallowa, Union, Umatilla, Morrow, Gilliam, Wheeler, Crook, Deschutes, Jefferson, Wasco, Sherman, Hood River, Multnomah, Clackamas, Marion, Lynn, Benton, Polk, Yamhill, Washington, Columbia. Wattacom, Ottanagan, Ferry, Stevens, Pindorel, Spokane, Lincoln, Adams, Whitman, Garfield, Atchison, Columbia, Walla Walla, Franklin, Benton, Grant, Douglas, Chelan, Saget, San Juan, Island, Shomish, Calliam, Jefferson, Kitsap, Pierce, Mason, King, Thurston, Grays Harbor, Pacific, Wahkikum, Lewis, Colwitz, Clark, Sacamina, Kilkvat, Yakima, Kittentas. North Slope, Northwest Arctic, Yukon-Yukok, Fairbanks North Star, Fairbanks, Denali, Mananuska Sudinta, Nome, Kulsavark, Bethel, Dillingham, Lake and Peninsula, Aleutians East, Aleutians West, Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay, Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage, Chizgak, Copper River, Yakutat, Huna Angoon, Haines, Skagway, Juneau, Sitka, Petersburg, Wrangell, Ketchikan Gateway, Prince of Wales Haida. Kauai, Honolulu, Maui, Hawaii.